trying to get this to stay. What a day it has been. It started out good, and then it quickly took like a left, and it was just like, what the heck? I came home from getting some errands done that I've been wanting to get done for the past couple of days. It was a crazy weekend. So I come home, I heat up some lunch because, you know, I have 8, and unknowingly to me, I didn't know that whoever used the oven last got grease all over the bottom of my stove. Fire alarms are going off because the smoke was rolling out of the stove. My neighbor thought I was dying. She thought I was starting on fire. So I was trying to heat this up. I got this from a local pizzeria, and I'm trying to reheat it, but it's basically fettuccine Alfredo and chicken parmigiana. It's not even that warm, but it's got a smoky taste to it now. Thanks to my stove. I'm freaking starving. Literally not ate all day. And when I don't eat, I get mad. I do have hypoglycemia to justify myself, but so that happened. I'm just gonna use a t-shirt. I don't feel like getting up. I'm hungry. Hopefully if anybody watches this video, your day's going better than mine is. I am so hungry. It doesn't help either that I've been trapped on a bus for the past 3.5 hours. Buses, because I can't drive my truck right now because it's not legal here in the state of Michigan. So that's been fun. And I actually made a plan. I was like, I'm gonna get up early, or I'm gonna leave early, and then I'll get back early, and then I'll have time, because my kids get out of school at 3:15, and I usually, you know, they don't have a school bus. A school bus doesn't come and pick them up because they're walking distance from their school. Their school is like right around the corner. So I have to walk them to school in the morning, and then I have to walk to pick them up in the afternoon. But I have to be there at a certain time. So it stinks. Especially on days like today when I'm like, I have my own stuff going on at home, and I'm like trying to get stuff done. And I have to like hustle, and I have to hurry up, and then I have to hurry, make sure I'm home at a certain time because I have to go pick them up. I have major PMS right now, like bad. The spaghetti doesn't taste very well, but I'm not gonna eat the spaghetti. I'm just gonna eat the Alfredo. That sauce does not taste good. I don't know what kind of sauce that is, but I'm not digging it. But yeah. Wow, I was so thirsty. I was on the bus and my throat's all dried out. I'm like tired. I basically had to like slam my cup of coffee this morning, take my kids to school, come home, slam it again. I did get one thing accomplished today though. That was actually really cool. I'm currently trying to move out of this apartment because I hate it. I can't stand it here. It's just not the place for me. It's not built in a very well neighborhood. It's not the apartment itself. I mean, there's like a few things about the apartment that I don't like, but excuse me. It's just the apartment itself is not in a good neighborhood, and we had an incident that happened yesterday, and it just kind of drove me over the edge. It was just more of a push to get out of here. So I just like woke up early this morning, got the kids to school, came home, and I was like, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna start, doing this. It's really hard to move nowadays, though. There's not a lot of availability. My landlord sucks. Horrible landlord. Can't stand her. My neighbors are cool. I do have good neighbors. I got blessed in that area. They're hardly ever there because they live in two places. They live here and then they live out going towards Detroit, the Detroit area, Michigan. So that's nice because they're like never around. But the neighbors that are across the way from us in a different building, they're just rude as hell. Like they have no manners whatsoever. They have no respect for other people. I am concerned about the children's welfare that live in these other apartments. I am really concerned as a parent because I feel really sorry for these younger children that are living there. They frequently beg my kids for food. They come to my door. They've actually seen them actually go in other people's apartments. If they see any of the other kids eating food, they get really upset. Like they get really mad because they're hungry, because they want something to eat. The parents are both alcoholics and drug addicts. They do not supervise their kids at all. It's just not a good environment. And now, those kids that live over there in the bad environment are now wrongly and badly influencing my children. And my oldest son is very impressionable right now because he's only 7 years old. He's in that age where you'll follow anybody because you think it's cool, or you want to do stuff because you think it's cool. And he's in that state right now, and I just do not want him to be influenced by people that don't have their shit together. The bad part is that he hangs out with these kids. He's already friends with one of them. He knows the kid's name and everything. Which is weird because my oldest son does not keep track of names. And he's not very sociable because of his mental disorder. So he really does struggle. So this was weird for him to remember, a child's name or a friend. So I felt bad at the same time because I was just like, oh, like it's kind of like his first friend. It actually is his first friend here because we've lived here for 4 months. It'll be 5 months, the 31st or the 30th, the end of this month. And the whole entire summer that we lived here, for about 2 to 3 months, there was nobody for him to play with. And my youngest, neither one of them had any friends. So it was really heartbreaking to watch him move from one environment where he had tons of friends and he had like a whole neighborhood of friends to move into this environment, and there's nobody out there. Like, there was nobody to play with. So towards the end of summer, it was probably like a week before school started, we had some new people that moved in, and everything was fine in the beginning. Like, everything was great. You know, I didn't know them, they didn't know me. Like, it wasn't, the kids were just kind of playing amongst themselves. They didn't really care. But then within a matter of days, these kids start, because they're not in good environment, these kids are not being raised right. They started cussing at my kids. They were, you know, threatening my kids, trying to beat up my kids. I caught 2 of them trying to beat up my 4-year-old, stealing, taking things off my front porch, talking back, being disrespectful, because they don't have any manners, because their parents aren't telling them these things, because they don't care about them. So, and it only took like days for that to happen. So, after yesterday, the oldest sibling, she has to be probably like maybe 14, 15, maybe 13. She threatened my 4-year-old, and she had no care whatsoever that she did. She did not care. And the parents, they don't care. They did not come to the door. They will not come to the door. They don't handle situations. They don't try to, because they're drunk. So basically I was beyond heated. I have PMS right now, so it didn't help either, but I was beyond heated, and my husband just told me, you know, he's like, she's a baby, just let it be, you know. But I ended up contacting my landlord, but that's probably not going to go anywhere, because like I said, my landlord here sucks. She is a horrible landlord. She's very careless. She doesn't care about anything here, and that's why I'm trying to move out as soon as I possibly can, because I don't feel safe here. The apartment is, you know, it's not horrible. I mean, it's not the apartment's fault. I'll say that. It's not the apartment's fault. The apartment has potential. It has a nice base to it. Like, it's like an empty canvas. It has the ability to become beautiful. So it's not the actual apartment. It's just like the environment that the building is in. It's the neighborhood that the apartment is in. And it's so weird, because the place that we just recently moved from, I used to say that all the time. Like, I would be like, it's the environment that we're in. Not even close to this area. It's, a lot of people would say that, well, a lot of people do, the place that we live in, they call this place the projects. And I disagree, because I lived in the projects probably about 7 years ago, and that was the projects. And I'm talking, people were getting attacked with baseball bats, and they were, you know, breaking into people's cars. There was people shooting up the building. Like, that was the projects. This is not, I don't consider this the projects. I just consider this to be an area that, I'm not even gonna say that, because we don't really have any problems out here. We have no problems whatsoever. It's just these new neighbors that just moved in, and they probably came from the projects. They probably came from a really bad area, and so they're not used to living here, where all the neighbors are together and everything else in between. And it's just, but it's just not gonna work for me, and it's not gonna work for my family, and it's not working for my children. They don't like it here either. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can be out of here within the year. I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm hoping that it happens. But my husband told me yesterday, you know, he's like, we just gotta start, you know, saving money and get out. The only other option that we have is to move into a hotel, and we don't want to do that, because with prices nowadays, it's extremely expensive. And it's not like back then, because my grandparents, they lived in a hotel for 35 years. And I didn't know that it was. I thought it was an apartment. Like, it literally looked like an apartment complex, but it wasn't. But back then, they were only paying $95 a week. Now, it costs anywhere between $200 to $500 a week. And it's just like completely ridiculous how much these places are charging. So, I don't know what's going to happen within the next year or two. I don't really know where we're going to end up. I don't really know where we're going. I know some changes need to be made, and it needs to have these changes need to happen soon. We were supposed to move into a 3-bedroom, and it could be anywhere. It could be here, where the company owns the property, of course, and we don't have it. They're just kind of dragging it on, and they're saying that, oh, it could be years. You got to wait for, and I'm like, so. That's probably not going to happen. But anyways, I'm done with this video. I am done eating. I have to get moving on my other stuff. I'm probably going to make myself another cup of coffee because I didn't get a chance to really drink mine this morning. Drinking old Pepsi. But all right, peace out, you guys.